No,
It's
that's
on
okay.
the flag.
You said it was gonna be a blackout, if I remember correctly. Call the meeting to order at 6 p.m. This is a public meeting being video and audio recorded for cable broadcasts and internet posting on www.dayton-mass.gov. And number 3, if would everyone stand and join me in the pledge of allegiance to the flag, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first order of business is the, did you bring the advertisement in the paper?
Yep.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Public hearing for the proposed leash law regulations. Roz, if you wouldn't mind, somebody reading it, please?
Yep. On Wednesday, October 10th, 2018, the Dayton Board of Health will be holding a public hearing at the Dayton Town Hall, 979 Somerset Ave, Dayton, Mass, in the Planning Board office at 6:15 to discuss and vote the Town of Dayton leash law regulations. This regulation is to aid the Dayton Animal Control Officer in enforcing the Dayton leash law that was approved at the 2018 annual town meeting. Anyone interested in obtaining a full copy of the regulation may do so from the Dayton Board of Health office, 1111 Somerset Ave, Dayton, Mass, and also on the town website. And we need to wait until 6:15. The public ads at 6:15.
Maybe we have the marijuana one first.
Could be.
Right, so apparently we can't talk about that just yet.
Nope.
Well,
Alright, so we go out of order, Mr. Chairman.
6 p.m. was the marijuana?
Yep.
Okay.
hi again.
We'll, then we'll open the public hearing for the proposed marijuana regulations and we'll,
So it's a
We'll table the-
Table, yeah, we're gonna
table the,
Till 6:15.
public hearing for leash law until 6:15 as was published.
Make the motion to the table.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries.
You want me to read the public hearing notice for the
Marijuana, yes, please.
Alright. On Wednesday, October 10th, 2018, the Dayton Board of Health will be holding a public hearing at the Dayton Town Hall, 979 Somerset Ave, Dayton, Mass, in the Planning Board office at 6:00 p.m. to discuss and vote regulations to ensure the sanitary and safe operation of marijuana establishments and the sale of marijuana. Anyone interested in obtaining a full copy of the regulation may do so from the Dayton Board of Health office, 1111 Somerset Ave, Dayton, Mass, or the town website. And the clippings from the newspaper, the Taunton Gazette, are here.
Okay. Very good, thank you. For those in attendance, I think everybody has a copy of the proposed regulations. These were approved by the town council and as far as language goes, they were approved by town council and the marijuana advisory committee. We did receive some suggestions or recommendations, if you will, from the town administrator, that we have a copy of those. And some were typographical, some were punctuation, but some changed the intent or the reading of the article, so I don't know if you had a chance to look at them yet. They should be in front of you if you wanna go through them one by one.
We can just go down them, 'cause if we make the
Yeah.
changes,
Yeah,
we'll make the
okay.
change and then.
First one was, should you specify that this is for adult use facilities only? I don't see why we should.
Age 21, that's,
Yeah.
That's part of the bylaw, isn't it?
that's aside from this.
For the
yeah.
state, I mean, that's.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Well, it was called recreational, now they've changed it to adult use, so we don't use that word recreational. Now, if we're talking about underage, then further on in the bylaw, it does state what the minimum age is for, that, so I don't think we need to add that in there myself.
Yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory, 21 years old.
Statutory, right?
Yeah.
For the public, these were regulations that were, the base of the regulations was from the State Department of Public Health, so they've been discussed and modified to suit the town's needs.
Yeah, most of this came from that anyway, correct?
Yeah.
What was the difference between recreational marijuana and use of marijuana? What you said, use of
It
marijuana?
sounded better.
Adult use,
Adult use.
Adult use. Recreational marijuana is a specific type of marijuana.
No, it was recreational marijuana,
Yeah,
and they changed the name, they wanted
Really?
to call it adult use because it sounded better than recreational. That was.
because you
Is that right?
had medical and recreational,
Yeah.
they had to differentiate it, so
Oh.
that was their,
And that was the only reason.
is that right?
Yeah. And I have to agree, adult, you know, you gotta be an adult to buy cigarettes, you
can
gotta
write
be an
down,
adult
Tommy,
to buy.
You can put any label you want on it.
Yeah, you gotta be an adult to buy alcohol, they don't call it recreational alcohol, recreational tobacco,
You're right.
you know, so.
Yeah, you're right.
The next one, is tobacco products as required to be issued by, and my copy says to the issued by, and she's right.
Yes, just.
It's a
to
typo.
be
Yep.
issued.
Yep.
Make the change.
Number 3, vending machine, remove the comma after self-service device. I don't care if we leave it in or we take it out, it still means the same thing. I don't know how you guys feel.
If it doesn't,
If it makes it happy, we'll
It's-
take it out,
Yeah.
so.
if it the way it reads, if it needs to be taken out, let's take it out.
I'm not
proper,
su-
proper grammar should be there.
I'm
I
not
think it
sure.
should be
Yeah,
there
'cause you stop
properly.
it.
Proper
Yeah.
grammar. as a
I think it
comma.
should be there
Oh,
also.
because it's 6:15.
I don't think it really matters, on the intent of the thing. Alright.
4.
Yep, second line, obtaining a marijuana operating permit. This also occurs under item D8. It does, but the intent, and I'll let you guys can look at it, the intent in D8 is different than the intent of the writing in D1,
Very different.
so.
D8 relates to, Board of Health going in for inspections.
Yeah, it's
and
just
Prior does not.
two totally different, meetings, in my opinion.
Correct.
Yeah,
Think?
I would agree.
Alright, moving on, we're not going to,
No change.
go
and again,
past.
our attorney looked at this as well.
Oh, yeah, approved it.
Number 5, can we prohibit delivery-only establishments? The delivery-only establishments that are not based out of Dayton but do business here have to notify the Board of Health. If we, what page is that?
It's,
So if delivery is done just in relation to this, the state has to approve it. And as far as I know, they're not looking at this point
so that's why it says if authorized
provide any.
and licensed in the state, so I guess we have language that covers there.
If
The
we don't-
only-
If we think the state's gonna change it, then we would have to add something in.
The only suggestion that I thought we might wanna consider, instead of upon request, the establishment must share information about the current location and destination of its employees. The only suggestion I have is that we make that mandatory, that they do tell us.
So get rid of the upon request and just make it the establishment must share information.
Yeah,
That's fine.
When you just say something like, delivery establishments will have to comply fully with the state regulation. So this way, in case anything changes, cause we haven't got specific wording. So you pretty much just cover it until we decide to
But like Melanie's saying, it's like a septic hauler, if he's driving through your town, does he need a license to work in your town kind of thing, as opposed to,
I think he does.
right, but we don't have that here, that you're gonna need a license to be a delivery
So I'm gonna
service.
tell you.
Yeah, I
Like
kinda
said,
feel pretty
must.
strong, we should make it mandatory that they notify us who they are and where they're going.
I think, yeah, if the state's gonna change regs, we're gonna have to add something in, I can't, until we know what they're doing.
And they were very clear that they are not even touching delivery at this point.
Yeah, 'cause they know drones delivering marijuana.
Could we pose the question to our attorney?
This can always be reopened up for an amendment
I can.
down the line.
But do you wanna strike the upon request part then, and just make it that they must share information?
Yeah. That's fine.
Yeah, I think that's
fine.
appropriate.
Yeah, we wanna know who's coming in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's,
Cause
cause
there's
otherwise.
there's gonna be some aspects to this.
We're
that
not
might-
gonna know what's going on, you know, next thing we know, there'll be,
Yeah,
somebody
just
be
call.
calling, actually,
This will be a cut through.
actually, they should probably notify the Board of Health and Police Department.
Well, we can only speak for ourselves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't speak for police.
Yeah, right now, our regs should just say notify us,
Okay.
I think.
That's fine, as long as I think as long as it's mandatory, we met our obligation, I think, to, pretty much control what's going on in town, so. Alright, so that'll be just delete, what are we deleting now?
Upon request, comma.
Okay, yeah, it'll be, Number 6, second line regulations should be regulations. And she wants to add, or she suggested adding, a copy of said regulations shall be posted in a conspicuous location on the premises at all times, or they should be printed on the back of the, well, I don't see on the back of the permit, or kept with it. I don't know, what's your thoughts?
I've never heard of an establishment posting, what, 8 pages of regulations?
Yeah, but that was already in here somewhere.
Yeah, cause we're gonna give it to them anyway, so they should have it. on file.
Regulation, town's posted regulations before,
In stores?
in places of operation, grocery store, a person that cuts meat. And I know, I did the inspections.
What regulations though?
If it was a store,
Yeah.
involving like cutting
Yeah.
beef, there's regulations pertaining to the handling of the beef, cleanliness, the cleaning of the equipment, all on the
Oh, you're talking about serve safe.
Yeah, but
Serve
Yeah,
nation.
that's-
Or maybe
that's-
like
regulation, you're talking regulation.
It's different, they want
Regulation.
these
There's no
entire
code on it, regulation, you got a word there, pal. That's
Well,
what you get.
on yours, like, when I worked in process plant, they give you like the policies and procedures.
thought we already had it.
They had town, state comes out with regulations, FDA has regulations on meat.
And they're posted there?
No, post right in the stores.
We,
You know why? You can go into a store, get a gentleman that's a butcher shop, and I'm using that because they usually get hit hard, about meat because of sanitation and all. And there are regulations and it's dealt with handling, cleanliness, machinery, have to be clean,
Maybe we dropped the
steam.
regulations, right, 'cause it's 6.
Yeah.
It's D6 where it says.
Well, for us,
that
when
they
we-
don't
when
want
we
the
visit
house
a
to be
food
displayed
establishment,
You know,
conspicuously.
Red and White.
Permit.
Remember Red and White Market, he used to butcher meat, Clint?
What, the cats or the meat?
Both. Plus the black bears and deer.
Um,
well, it says here, we're gonna
Don't
give them a
let-
copy of regulations.
The-
Don't throw the word regulation around as a so-so. It's not
Well,
very
actually,
important.
the intent of what she's telling us is that the word regulations needs a big R instead of a little r.
There
Yeah.
you go, pal.
But, yeah,
And it won't hurt a damn soul, but it's good to have.
of course, and just so you know, for our food establishments, these individuals, before they get permits, have to be trained.
Yeah.
So
food
they
handling.
know the regulations,
Oh, yeah.
they have to be trained on them. So they get their certification
It
and then they.
isn't so much for
Oh my
the
God,
food
it's
handlers or people like when you're in the business, it's for the public. Somebody has a question,
Yeah.
believe it or not, you know why? I work in a Boy Scout camp where they serve food, and you would be amazed what we're doing, parents especially.
What are we on?
So, it says here, we're already giving them a copy of regulations.
Correct.
I think they get it when they taken out of an application, right? They would get a copy of the regs with the.
And even, we could do it when we do our inspection. When I do a tobacco inspection once a year, I give them the copy of the regulations
Oh,
again.
So they got, so in your case, you give people the copy of the regulations pertaining to that particular establishment.
And it's saying we're doing here.
Yeah.
The question is, do they have to post it? They have a copy of it. They can just keep it, they
I
can
would
keep
say on the
it.
wall, we can put it in 3-ring binder, give
It
them a
sounds
copy.
like she wants it posted,
She wants it posted.
posted in a conspicuous location on the premises at all times, is what
She's
Not
recommending.
a-
Okay.
not a big
Okay.
deal.
Tommy? My suggestion, you give a person the regulations in a 3-ring binder. The 3-ring binder is accessible. Would that be
Well-
interesting? Would that qualify?
The permit has to be posted conspicuously, I think having them on site and available.
But having the regulations on site.
Would that be a,
Would-
would that be a
absolutely,
risk? Yeah.
absolutely, oh yeah, no, that's
Yeah, we're
good.
gonna give it to them anyways, they should have it on site.
Right.
I'm saying you're gonna post it up on a framed wall, you know what I'm saying?
So
Yes. Same thing
we
you
could
can
add
do
in a
with some of the-
sentence about regulations must be kept on site after that first sentence.
Yeah, that's fine.
You did good.
So what are we?
So it's D4. After the first sentence, we're gonna add in regulations must be kept on premises.
So the applicant will be provided with town of Dayton
Then
regulations.
period. New sentence, regulations must be kept on premises.
Available upon request.
She
There you
doesn't,
go.
she doesn't write that fast. Kept on premises and available.
Page 4,
Upon
D10.
request.
Next one is on page 4, D10, minimum, second line after minimum legal sale age. Add the 2 words at least. So it would read sold a marijuana product to a person under the minimum legal sales age at least 2 times.
So yeah, if they did it 2 and they knew they lose the permit, they do it a 3rd time, they can't lose the permit, so. Sounds right.
Yeah, I would agree,
So we gonna add at least 2 times?
at least, yeah.
Okay.
Not a
It
complete
shouldn't happen
sentence.
once.
Well, no kidding. I think we're only gonna have 1 facility in town anyway, maybe 2, but. The next one, number 8. I disagree, I think it's a complete sentence.
I do too.
Yeah.
You know, there was, not sure what the first line is trying to communicate, it's not a complete sentence. Well, I disagree, I think it's a complete sentence, I don't know how
I
you
think
guys
it
feel.
is too, but
That's
I don't know how you'd make it a complete sentence.
Put period after it.
No, I mean to how you change that to make it.
Oh, no.
Retail marijuana companies,
Page 5, D12.
I think it would
Yeah.
sound better if you switched sell and primary, so that way if it read a retail marijuana establishment shall primarily sell marijuana and marijuana accessories, I think it's
I'll
the
reverse
way
those
the.
words.
what it says.
It's just,
No, he's reversing
I
sell and
reversed.
primarily.
that's actually, that makes sense, that's good.
Okay.
Yeah, just switch those 2 words, right?
Got it.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Done.
And they, they can't hold a tobacco permit, alcohol permit. So-
Correct.
Okay, next one, we're ready for number 9? I don't wanna shut you down again,
No.
so.
You haven't shut me down yet.
Okay, page 5, D14. Add, committees are required to file for a renewal each year.
That doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
No, it wouldn't either.
Yeah, all marijuana operating permits expire annually, then it's just telling them that they have to renew every year.
I think if we're gonna add that, we should put a date by,
What does that?
I
Well, it
thought.
said by December
Yeah.
31st.
Yeah, it's
I
before.
was-
Before?
Expires.
Yeah, annually, she she wants.
Oh, they
it.
expire.
Well, I know it expires the 31st, but
Okay.
I
think it
can't
should
see
be like
chasing them
mid-November.
December
December
1st.
1st.
Required annually.
Does December 1st work?
So you wanna say permanent needs are required to file for renewal each year?
By December
December
1st of the calendar year or the permit year or whatever, December 1st of each year. Number 10, page 6, K2. First line permit should have capital P. Okay.
Should.
Alright.
Oh yeah, 1,000 feet and 500 foot distance, huh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Are we on
I gotta
11
check
now?
another
How did we all miss that?
Yeah.
I know.
Scrutinize.
It says of the grounds, which would be the property, not from the building.
Well,
I like property line.
no, it already says from building to building. It's
Straight
already
line
in
from the
there.
nearest point of the facility. Well, is facility the building or the property?
Building.
Building to building, it's in there.
Cause some could argue that the facility would be the entire thing, but.
Well, it doesn't say lot line, the distance shall be measured in a straight line from the nearest point of the facility in question to the nearest point of the proposed establishment.
Shouldn't that be property line?
Well, if it's a playground, yes, it would be.
That's true, cause if there's no building on the playground, then.
Yeah, if there's no building, it's from the property line.
Yeah.
If there is a building, it will be from building
And
to
you
building.
go from their property line, you don't have to go from their building. Cause maybe one of these are gonna have a dumpster off to the side, it should be the whole property line that contains marijuana on it. Should be 1,000 feet.
Well, if that's,
It should
if
be
you
1,000
wanna, if
feet
you
from
wanna
one
amend
property
it,
line
if
to
you
the
wanna
other.
amend it to that, but it already says building to building.
All you have to do is just at the very end, to the nearest point of the proposed marijuana establishment property.
I don't agree with property line.
I get Kevin's point.
But again, right, they say if it's a playground though, there's no
There's no
building.
building.
If there's a building on it, I would say building to building. No building, property line to building.
It's gonna be confusing for.
Yeah.
That's my feeling.
It's cleaner to say instead of saying it's two different things in two different circumstances, it's cleaner to pick one.
Is this a state reg
I
that
mean,
you
you could say,
know of?
you could say from building to building in the absence of,
Yeah, it's state
building.
reg, building to building.
We didn't change that at all.
I mean, we can make it more restrictive, but
Question.
Go less.
Shall be measured in a straight line from the nearest point of the facility or property line in question. So this way it's either the facility, and if it's if it's the question of a,
well, it has to be the property of the school, because the kids are in the playgrounds and
Yeah.
the soccer fields and everything else, so it has to be the property line of the school. It's whether you go to the front door of the building or you go to the parking lot, so.
how about from the property line of the existing facility to the proposed establishment building, something like that.
What's the planning board doing, because if they need to be the same,
The planning board is 1,000 feet.
that's what we have here.
Well, yeah,
But from what to what?
Well, that's a good question. I didn't review that one, and I didn't bring my stuff with me.
Is it online?
Oh, no, but I think it's over here.
you know, we should mirror that.
So the
In the meantime,
next
the
to the last sentence it says 500 feet, should I say
yeah, it should be 1,000.
Yeah.
I think when we were going back and forth,
It should be the
waiting for
same
the
way.
planning board, so yeah, 1,000.
And it says of the grounds of or within a public or private school, but it doesn't say facility, and then down below we say facility. 1,000 feet of the you know what I mean, so you mix in two different terms, grounds and facility. So grounds would imply to me it's the property. And the establishment would tell me it's the building. If I was just taking just the words and the definitions, but.
It doesn't address how it's measured. Basically, no RMD or marijuana establishment shall be located within 1,000 feet of any of the following structures or uses. Any school attended by children under the age of 18, licensed childcare, any drug or alcohol rehab facility, any correctional facility, halfway house or similar facility, any other RMD or medical establishment. Then it goes on to say in the next section, no RMD or marijuana establishment shall be located within 1/4 mile of any playground, public athletic field, or similar public recreational facility. That's a lot. I don't know what ours is addressing there.
So what if we said the 1,000-foot distance shall be measured in a straight line from the nearest point of the school property in question to the nearest point of the proposed marijuana establishment building?
So the way we had it, you don't have to go with Mallory's suggestion here.
No, we
I
can
think
come up with
it's
something that's,
I know, we don't have, yeah, it's true.
extra confusion. What was here coincides with what the planning board has.
As long as we make it 1,000 feet, it is,
It's fine.
conflicting, 1,500, so.
Do we wanna change facility to establishment?
no,
No.
establishment refers to marijuana,
Oh, okay,
facility refers to the school grounds.
okay.
Those could change to 1,000.
So the only change is
The
permit
1,000
is
foot.
gonna be capital and 500 to 1,000. Thank you.
Did you guys talk about the last one?
Not yet.
Are we all set on 11?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, first off, number 12, page 7, K4,
Doesn't even,
is actually L4.
yeah, I was gonna say it
Yeah.
doesn't fix it.
And what's he suggesting, repeated violations will result in revocation, is already stated in L3.
Correct.
Well, she's saying cannot reapply, this is saying may receive a suspension. Sounds like she wants to make it mandatory.
That's very simple, I made in there, put the word shall.
Right. You know, extra wording.
It shall receive a
Change
written
a
warning,
word.
comma,
The word
citation,
shall
fine,
is a
suspension.
demand word, you can't fight it.
But if we're gonna say shall, you have to say when a written warning is gonna be issued, when a citation is gonna be issued, when a suspension is gonna be issued.
That's the whole process by itself.
I'll just change may to shall.
Unless we just get rid of the repeated, her first sentence about resulting in revocation and just start with any business with a revoked permit cannot reapply for a period of 1 year. Maybe you could put that in.
Citation fines.
So that at the end, at the end of L3, to say if it's revoked, you have to wait a year before you can come back.
Don't slap his hand.
I agree with that, but I
That would be
also
okay
think
with
we
me.
should change may to shall or
Yeah,
will.
that.
But I don't
everything
think you can.
Yeah,
Can't
Why?
walk.
Sure you can.
So it's.
Sure you can.
Any establishment found to be in violation shall
Yeah.
receive a written warning, citation, fine, suspension, and or revocation. It just sounds like you're,
Either or.
you could say or,
Right.
you have to put an or in there. Regulations shall receive
either
a
a,
yeah, written warning, or citation.
Cause you're not
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
do all
instead
of
of
go
them.
after
all of
written
them at the
warning.
same time.
Right, we're not doing all of them.
No, after written warning, you can write or, and then the rest.
Yeah, cause there's no way we're gonna do all of them at the same time.
Is that where a semicolon comes in?
Would you,
I don't know.
would you agree after written warning?
Yes.
But she does have an and or at the end, I guess,
That's a
after
good one,
operating
Tom.
permit, but. You could do a colon, may receive colon, written warning citation.
Oh, they could,
and-
yeah, after written warning and or, that what you just said?
No, I said after receive. Shall receive, colon. A written warning, citation, fine, and or revocation of the permit.
Yeah, that would satisfy.
That would work.
Yeah, I mean, I
It's all
think,
grammar here, it's
I think
not-
the intent is there.
But we wanna change it to shall.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
May to shall, and are we putting an or after written warning?
No,
No.
cause they got the and or over there, but it's gonna be a colon there.
Probably
And do we
not.
wanna add in the sentence about, any business with a revoked permit cannot reapply for a permit for a period of 1 year?
I think that's fair.
That kinda heavy?
Mm, yeah.
No,
Well, if they're at that point,
I
were
would
they
say
getting
so.
revocation?
Yeah, after, I guess so.
When you're
They should
revoked,
be,
you're
I would
revoked.
say,
Yeah.
This is true.
Absolutely.
if you've not followed the regulations,
Yeah.
you've
Yeah,
gotten
that
that,
sounds
That's
like-
true.
Yeah, that's the last time.
it would be a good slap on the
Yeah,
hand to
okay.
say you don't get your license back for a year.
Yeah. And they know that up front,
And
they
then,
might
you know,
be,
maybe,
they might be a little careful, right?
Well, and she said that mimics the ABCC laws, so.
Alright,
Any other things from the board?
I do not.
Kevin?
No, so on this now, we make the changes and, we can schedule a public hearing?
Nope.
No, we can vote with the, well, we haven't had public input yet, which is
Okay.
gonna be next.
You can vote with the changes
That we made.
made during the public hearing. And if they have any comments, then we need to make any changes. And then we just have to, at the next meeting, sign them.
Anything else?
I don't.
I just
Any
got-
comments from-
Wait, I just got one.
No, I
I'm
mean,
sorry.
I'll be honest with you, I thought, apparently you guys have really done your homework, I'm very pleased with that, and, I'm very pleased to see, the changes you did make, suggestions you made,
This is our town too, right? So,
and this marijuana facility is going up off of Winthrop Street, William Street.
Williams.
yo, right now, yeah.
Yeah,
No, I think I'm very,
I
what
think
I
that's the
heard,
more
I'm
appropriate
very pleased
place
with
Okay,
that's it.
you're good, thank you.
than where they suggested County Street in Dayton.
I agree.
That's gonna close up, we can smoke.
Okay, ma'am, you here for the leash law or this?
Here for
Leash
the
law, so,
dogs.
sorry we're a little late, but we tried to.
There you go.
Smoke
Alright, so,
across with
real quick,
otherwise.
all of the last one, it says this regulation shall take effect, should it be these regulations?
One of the places
And then at the very beginning, it says regulation to ensure, should it be regulations to ensure?
Regulations, I think, it should say regulations.
And then down here, these regulations.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get that? No,
A lot of
sorry,
grammar.
that-
Alright, so if you wanna make a motion to accept
We have
with
to- we
the
have to close
proposed
the-
changes.
we have to
This
close
should
the-
say
These regulations.
Close the public hearing.
Yeah, we'll close the public hearing at 6:35 on the marijuana.
Are we closing or do we have to do it too?
No, because they were separate.
Yeah, now we'll
Notices.
vote.
No, but I didn't know if we had to have 2 nights for the regulation.
No.
It's only one, okay.
So we can
Well, I
close it
think
and
we're
vote
gonna
it with
vote
the
before
amendments
we
we made
close.
tonight.
Okay, no,
We
making
close
sure.
the
I just-
public input part.
I thought it had to be
And then
2
we
hearings.
vote.
Okay, we'll close the public
It's Title
input
5 regs
part.
that need 2 hearings.
Correct.
And we'll vote and we'll close the hearing. Okay, sounds good.
So you're looking for a motion to close, is that what I heard?
The public
We're
input.
looking, we closed the public input. I declared we're closing public input. Now we're looking for a motion to, accept with the proposed changes as discussed.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make the motion to accept the regulations to ensure the sanitary and safe operation of marijuana establishments and the sale of marijuana regulations as amended during our public hearing.
Second.
Okay, motion made second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Let me see, carries. Thank you. Thank you for your help.
Thank you, I'm very impressed with the amount of work you guys have put into this, and,
Well-
it isn't just today, but you're looking down the road, down the future, of what's gonna happen,
Yeah.
so.
Trying
going
think
to.
you've done a very thorough job, and you'd be congratulated for your work.
Thank you.
Yeah, nobody ever says thank you to you, but I say thank you.
Well, good.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
You know, I know
Well,
what it
thanks.
is, I know what it is to work for the town and walk away, and nobody says thank you. They call you a lot of names. No, very good. Good,
Okay.
Good deal.
Thanks. Thanks for coming.
You're welcome.
Alright.
We gotta read the,
So being 6:15.
Oh, we have to read that again?
Now we-
Okay, then we'll,
Yeah.
I think it'd be
that being
after-
said, we
yeah.
made the motions, we'll close the public hearing at 6:37. I will open the public hearing for the Town of Dayton leash law regulations.
I'll read the notice again. On Wednesday, October 10th, 2018, the Dayton Board of Health will be holding a public hearing at the Dayton Town Hall, 979 Somerset Ave, Dayton, Mass. In the planning board office at 6:15, and at this point it's 6:36. To discuss and vote the Town of Dayton leash law regulations. This regulation is to aid the Dayton Animal Control Officer in enforcing the Dayton leash law that was approved at the 2018 annual
Oh, you
town
got it.
meeting.
No wonder I
Anyone
can't find
interested
it.
in obtaining a full copy of the regulation may do so from the Dayton Board of Health Office, 1111
Oh, no,
Somerset
no.
Ave, Dayton, Mass, and also
I
on the
can't
town
find my
website.
other thing.
And we do have the hearing notice from
Oh,
the
yeah.
Taunton Gazette.
Okay, regarding Dayton leash law regulations, was submitted by our animal control officer. We did tentative approval pending public hearing, which is why we're here this evening. And, do either of you have any comments?
I don't.
Okay. I have one that I, after reading it again, the subsequent, times for violation, it states the subsequent times will be citations starting at $25 and going up to $100. And every time you will need to provide rabies and town tag information. What I thought we should add in there is that it be consistent in accordance with chapter 140, 173A, which is the violations, dog control laws, non-criminal disposition. It states first offense is a warning, second offense is 50, third offense is 60, fourth offense is $100. I think it's a little vague what the fine structure is. And we could reference 140, 173A, plus put in the fines that it,
That makes sense, because at least you're referencing something and it's already on the books.
yeah, it's
This is,
consistent.
it is a little vague on this one, $25 and up to,
Yeah,
a range up to.
so we need a fee structure, I think, and keep it simple and just put in what the first, second, third, and the fourth offense is, which is compliance with.
And this will assist Stacy in moving forward.
Yeah.
If there is a violation, she could just say first, second, third, or fourth.
I'll give you the papers, you don't have to. Or who's ever doing it.
Nope, thank you.
So I just have the wording as repeated offenses will be issued citations following, or following the.
Pursuant to, pursuant to
My-
140.
There we go, thank you. The word, wrong words there. And then we can list the, first offense $25, second 50, third 60, and.
I think it could say something like, yeah, like you said, subsequent fines in any calendar year shall be as follows, which also with chapter 140, 173A, so, there you go.
Just keep it all together.
I didn't have time to be neat.
No, that's okay.
Anything else on that one?
Just public input.
Anything else on that one? Okay, we're going out to the public.
So your first offense would be a warning, or would it be a financial monetary
It's warning.
It's a warning.
A warning.
That's
And you're gonna go up
consistent
to
with what
4
this-
offenses with this?
Well,
Allow
Well,
it
it's
4 times?
consistent with the state regs, which is why we're doing it, so.
So the first one's a warning, and then like the second one would be like, what, you say 25, and then it's like 50, and
May I
then-
ask you a question?
Then it goes up to 100, and it stays at 100 for each.
At the end of
individual
4
offense.
violations, when you do that,
it'd still be 100, and you can, I guess,
you get,
file a complaint with the.
What does it say? Does it say anything after?
No, I'm just asking, you know.
I don't know,
have
I'm
you
gonna
thought of
read,
that?
if it says anything after 4.
Oh,
I think it maxes
you
out
ain't
at
saying
100.
we're the problem Rhode Island run into.
It just says for the first offense committed by a person within a calendar year, the clerk shall dismiss the charge without payment of a fine.
Seriously? I think they should get a
Well, no, I'm
fine
just-
for
The
a
first time
time.
might be an honest mistake, so.
Yeah, it could be a mistake.
Yeah.
My dog stays on a leash constantly, but he could. It happened one time, he
Yeah,
snapped
you
his
do,
little
and I
run.
know you're
Yeah.
going.
And he was out, my neighbor picked him up,
So-
thank goodness. I could've got $25.
I'm only
Well,
thinking of
the-
I mean,
somebody who's like a
if it comes down
chronic
to the
offender.
fourth time-
You know,
Right.
how many times are you gonna allow them to have their dog offend?
Fourth or subsequent offense in the city or town.
Yeah.
No, go to the next page, Matt.
Yeah.
Now, if we, fourth time, if we send it to court and they don't show up, what happens?
When you get a summons for court and they don't show up, you get
Oh,
warrant
right,
for
yeah.
arrest there.
I ain't got nothing for you. If any person fails to appear in accordance with the summons, the clerk of the court shall send such person by mail notice of the complaint is
Warrant
pending.
for his arrest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that,
And then even our regulations have something in with nuisances, it's 100, 200, and 300. So if it's a constant nuisance, we could actually turn around and say, a violation of our regulations when it comes to nuisances. And again, it's 100, 200, 300. Then you can also take somebody to court on a criminal complaint,
Yeah.
but they have their due process as
Yeah.
well.
oh, yeah.
I think after the fourth, there
Okay.
should be some language that
No, I
says,
just curious, if it's the fourth time.
they're
would
brought
think
in,
after the
in
fourth
for a
time,
hearing
you know,
with
three
the
strikes,
board
you're
or
out.
something like that, you know? I mean, if
We
you
could
can't,
add
if you
that.
can't, within a calendar, if you can't control your animal,
To be honest with
I
you,
mean-
this new leash law,
Oh,
it's gonna create problems for everyone, it's brand new.
right.
Never been done. Okay, I remember when Somerset started, it was helter-skelter, it really
Sorry.
was. Well, I didn't hear about it, and, you know.
Guys, this is
So-
all over, been all over Facebook and Twitter.
I know, but you're gonna have Tommy.
Yeah.
The-
You
the
could
I
put
biggest-
forgot.
something, you could put something that says repeat violations shall result in, or will result in, additional fines and court proceedings or,
Yeah,
And or.
A hearing by the board,
or slash hearing.
additional fines and a hearing with the Board of Health.
put the word shall,
Shall.
use the word shall, nobody can fight that word, that's the most strongest word in the English language.
So that,
Check the
then
union
Shall or
contract.
will?
they have a
You know
hearing
why
with
I
us,
learned
then
that?
we can push
What's
it to the courts or.
What's stronger, shall or will?
Shall,
I think so too.
you know why, you know where I learned that?
Where'd you learn that?
Writing contracts for the union.
Oh, yeah.
What's in the union contract?
Shall.
You try to get the company to say will, and we are trying to say shall.
Now, how many complaints does she handle a year with people who have had dogs that have either been out of control or dog bites?
Last year she had quite a few dog bites.
I think that year she had like 30 dog bites.
30?
So that's what prompted all this. 'Cause we had some individuals that were scared, like, do I need to get the rabies shot? What happens?
It's worse in the summer
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
dogs don't wanna be bothered.
The heat,
So-
and, you know, they like to get
Yeah.
warm, people mistreat dogs, believe it or not. You know, how about just taking the dog outside while everybody goes to work and no water?
See, when we first tried to get this in town, there were 3,000 people. Now
Yeah.
there's 8,000. You know, a lot of subdivisions, you
Lot of
know,
dogs.
so.
Well, the bites are happening toward the subdivisions.
I can remember, no word of a lie, I can remember getting an ambulance call, I was chief at the time. Could we go up and help a neighbor with her neighbor's dog? He was laid out in the sun, no water, no food, nothing. So, believe it or not, the dog got ox, we gave him oxygen, cooled him down, brought him around. Then I notified
Right.
Tommy's wife, so, what was going on, middle, should look into it.
Was she animal control at the time?
Yeah, yeah.
How long have you been retired now?
13 years,
How many?
13.
13. Yeah, I guess so. Okay, ma'am, you have anything you wanna offer?
I just
Sure.
wanted to hear what it means.
Okay. Anything else from us?
No, I like
Okay,
that, I like
I'll,
that change.
Close the public input, and then would entertain a motion to adopt
Mr.
the
Chairman.
proposed change with amendments.
Chairman, I'll make the motion to adopt the Town of Dayton leash law regulations with the amendments relating to the fine and citation structure.
Second.
Motion made in second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that carries. Well, thanks, everybody.
Need to close the public
Good
hearing.
seeing you.
You don't have to thank us again, so.
I'm on it. I'm paying you good money to do this job,
We
right?
know.
You're making big bucks at this, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Thank you. And you'll-
Almost as much as I made as a selectman.
It's good seeing you again, Thomas. Haven't seen you for a while.
Well, I'm happy you made that comment on probably because we try to do our due diligence as a board.
I'm impressed with the work you guys done with marijuana.
Yeah, so.
It's a big change coming up.
Yeah, it is, and we're dealing with one, and I keep reading the City of Taunton, there's 4 or 5 involved with it.
I work in Lakeville full-time and it's 3 of them.
Yeah.
And there's more to come.
And then you got the people that wanna grow it, never mind, the store to sell it, so.
Actually, at this point, that's,
That's another
I don't
whole-
have anybody we don't have anybody, I don't think, that's interested in selling. We're talking about manufacturing and growth,
Yeah.
so.
Well, you keep getting the manufacturers, they'll cut each other's throat, and we'll have no marijuana.
So, all right. Have a good night.
Hey,
night.
thank you guys, and young lady, you're doing a hell of a job wherever you are.
It's all
Take care,
over the
Kim.
place, right?
Aye. Need to close the public hearing.
Okay, we need a motion for that? Motion to close public hearing then.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries to close the public hearing at, is that 6:50 or
6:47.
7:50?
6:47.
6:47.
Yeah, we haven't been here that long yet.
Nope.
Feels like it.
All right, we're making progress.
Okay.
Next one's gonna be real quick.
New business.
Yeah.
We discussed an act, Board of Health member to be on a cannabis policy advisory board.
Seeing that we just passed the regulations, I don't feel that we need to have a member, and considering that, since April, I believe it was 23rd, until about a week and a half ago, I received 0 communication from the board, including meetings that were held and cancellations of meetings and other information. So if I could not have been included over the course of almost 6 months when we were actively working on our regulations, I don't see why we need to have any involvement.
I had one question. When do they normally meet?
Does not,
I don't know.
you don't know either because you
I
never
expressed-
went.
It's not during the day though.
I received a notification of
No,
a
they
meeting
meet
at the end
very-
of April, 2 days before the meeting, I had a conflict, and I merely sent an email and said, I need a little more than 2 days' notice for a meeting, and to which ensued a few other emails back and forth with, another member, and clearly there had been other meetings and whatnot that I had not been notified of, and I said, communication needs to be worked on, and I did not receive any other
Yeah.
communication until I went upstairs 2 weeks ago and said, I'm not seeking reappointment to this board because I couldn't be notified of anything. So, that being said.
What's left anyways? Is
To
there
answer
any-
your question,
Well,
they
Tom,
meet in the evening.
I might be able to answer it better. I've got the meetings up here. They did not have a meeting in August or September. There is a meeting on the 15th, which is Monday night. Going back to July now, I'm trying to find their last meeting.
They
Isn't
meet
that
very
town meeting?
infrequently.
But since the planning board has already kinda did their stuff, correct? And the zoning, we already have that, we've already got our regs, what are, now this is pretty much the host agreement, right?
Which, again,
Isn't that
follow
what
our
they're
regs.
working
They
on?
would, they would only meet if something came up where they,
Like new regs and.
Yeah, I don't even see
yeah,
why
I
need you.
suppose.
Yeah,
Wanna do it?
I would say I'll be on it, but if it's a conflict in my schedule, I would have to miss it, of course, you know?
Okay.
No, that would stop anybody from
Okay,
getting mad at
I'll
us.
nominate Kevin Bernardo then to be a member of the Cannabis Advisory.
I'll second that, good luck.
If you can't make it, you can't make
Yeah.
it. Your problem was you never got notified.
I missed one because I had a conflict and then was never notified after that, so, good luck.
You said what times are they?
I think they
6
were
o'clock.
6.
The special town meeting's at 7, so.
Not sure where the meeting.
Planning board has a meeting at 6. And the Development and Industrial Commission meeting is at 6:30. All on the same night.
Quite,
This
extensive.
first one,
Yeah, you're
honestly,
probably gonna miss the
This
first one.
first one might be a little tough, just 'cause now it's this Monday already?
Hey, you're the board's appointed designee to the meetings. If you can go, you can go. If you can't, you can't.
Alright, and you'll let them know?
Yeah, we'll let whoever it is that needs to know.
But
At least
I'd like to
at
say,
least it's an advisory board, not a task force.
but I'd like to say thank you to Matt for actually putting these regulations together,
He did a
presenting
great
it to
job.
us.
Yeah, he did.
And working on that, so thank you.
All your input over, both your inputs there over.
Did you second
6
his
months.
phone?
Yes,
Yeah.
he did.
It did, right?
All right.
With good luck.
Vaya con Dios.
Motion.
How do you say that?
Vaya con Dios.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That was really quick to say.
I gotta, could you guys just continue? I gotta go talk to Charlie Mello for a minute.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, all right.
You want me to?
Before he starts.
Before
Yeah, if you wanna.
Alright. Next item under new business, review, discuss, and act filing fee for hearings and variances. What?
So we're talking the Board of Health regulation changes, and the part of that would also be all the fees to go with it. We're not really prepared to talk about that tonight, so we could table that.
Motion to table,
Second, oh, so moved? You have to step down?
step down and second it, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Same thing is true for the listed stormwater discharge regulations and fines. Jim and I haven't had a chance to work it out yet, unless this board wants to talk about it, but I figure we might wanna work it out in the stormwater committee and bring it here.
I think we
So-
tabled last time, 'cause yeah,
Mhm.
that's fine. Yeah, I'd rather have it set than.
Make a motion to
You keep it
table,
up.
under new business, letter C.
Yep.
Stormwater.
Review, discuss, and act the listed stormwater discharge regulation with fines, excuse me.
So moved.
Oh. Step down and second it, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I think we need to give Ross a second to catch up.
I'm on fire.
No, go ahead, I'm good, I'm good. Just wanna
That's why
put
it's
the
recorded.
topic.
That's
Right.
Review, discuss, and act the e-waste recycling container program.
That Tom needs to be here for you, because you're gonna have to go out of order.
Alright, we'll go out of order. Review, discuss, and act recycling violation tag. We had a violator?
No,
No.
Tom, again, he has talked to Borges and requested areas that are our worst, contamination offenders.
Mm-hmm.
And he would like us to come up with some kind of a tag like this is one obviously from another
This is part of
town.
that recycling IQ, this is kind of like a beginning step in it,
Yeah.
so.
So,
That stuff that we had, that IQ stuff that she had, is there any way we can kinda put that online, or I could put it together, we put it online, or is it there already?
Oh, that stuff was available, that we could probably try and post
Yeah.
some of that
I'm
online.
gonna see if I can grab it and send it to you.
that'd be great.
Yeah, cause we can post anything online, we
This
should
way,
probably.
it'd be little links.
I would like to also, if we could, maybe get it on the town website to throw certain stuff up there about, you know, no plastic bags and your, you
That'd
know,
be
that kind of
perfect,
stuff,
yeah.
and we could start just, you know, flipping it everywhere.
On the TV, you mean, right?
Yeah, the more people see it, the more likely they'll do it.
So, just going forward, thinking ahead to the spring, when the DEP grants open up for the RDP, if we file, we can get some money which we can use. It specifies what you can and can't use it on, but something like this we can use it for. So
Yeah.
it wouldn't cost town anything. I mean, obviously we wanna go, you know, but
Well, that whole recycling IQ, there's a lot of money there, but you have to take several steps, you know, it's not just, hey, let's do some tags, you have to
Right.
do a lot
It's the
more,
nice-
we weren't prepared, we didn't
No,
have the
we weren't, yeah.
personnel to
Nope,
do that,
nope.
so.
That's why it's nice with the RDP money, cause it's a lot
You could put that
looser
towards,
with how to do it.
And
you
I
just
think
have to
with
supply
this
receipts
tag,
and stuff, that's it.
it's gotta be like sticky
Yeah,
for
it'll be
him
like
to
a
be able to.
peel it back, slap it on the
Freetown
tag.
had some sticks, I'm gonna see if I can grab one to show you, and, you probably had it at the, when you did the you managed the solid waste over there, no?
We didn't have any curbside or anything?
Oh, no?
No, it's all transfer station. I know towns that have
Let me see
though,
if I can get
they
you
do
those tags.
Tag 'em. Okay.
And, originally, Borges was doing Freetown, that's where those tags came from. And he would just slap them
Yeah,
on
one's
to
for
the.
recycling,
Uh,
They just
Well, it
the-
doesn't have a, it was Borges that gave me that, so I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But anyway, we
Oh.
can go to BP and see what we can get for them to make the tags, cause
Mhm.
they're a much more.
These are stickies.
Yeah, but they can do whatever.
Yeah.
So it's.
But this one already has like, he literally could check off what he wanted.
Oh, like there were several violations?
Yeah, it said, too heavy,
Bag overfull.
ribs, yeah, whatever it was.
Yeah. Something in the bag that doesn't belong.
I can at least show
Alright.
you, like, at least show you guys.
Alright, so you wanna table it until,
If, cause then with that, it could, we could also encompass the recycling piece, so that way it's one tag, we don't have that.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're fumbling around with 2 or 3 different tags, it's just one
But I-
tag, check it.
But meanwhile, between now and then, I can reach out to BP and say, hey, we're looking for some kind of tag that would be on a sticker in orange.
Something that
Can you
size.
start, get us a price, cause what we put on it doesn't matter, the
Yeah.
price isn't producing 1,000 of them
Yeah,
or
that'd be
whatever,
good.
so.
And then I'll ask her to scan it to me and I'll scan it to you, so you can have it exactly what it looks like.
Okay.
So you don't have to wait for that whole meeting.
Okay.
For me to bring it in.
Sounds good. So we're tabling that until, we have more information, right? Or,
It can wait, yeah.
so we don't need to act.
I would
on it, but-
entertain a motion to continue discussion of the recycling violation.
So moved.
Step down second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? We're so close.
We have to go back to,
E, D. We're all set with new business,
Tom
except D.
Byers is back at the meeting.
Thank you.
Well, to make sure she puts it in the minutes.
No?
Okay, we're going back to D.
Let's do it, so good. Yes.
I was already on 7 now.
Review, discuss, act, e-waste recycling container program.
I read
I'm
the
gonna
email,
ask that we
it's pretty
table
good.
this also. Unfortunately, I didn't get to talk to Tom Ferry about it, nor did I call for prices. So,
You wanna keep it?
Yeah.
Keep the copy.
until that time,
There he is, huh?
we already have vendors that are taking care of most of this stuff, and I wanna get a price. Then I'll speak with Tom Ferry about which is, gonna be the better option for the town, so if I could, get a motion to table that, please.
We definitely need to find out what their pricing is, because the e-waste is continuing to go up and up and up
Yeah,
on the
so.
pricing, so.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we, table, under new business, D, e-waste recycling container program.
Second that?
Okay, motion is made and seconded to table item 6D, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. And we're done with E?
Yes.
On the old business, number 7, review, discuss, and act, curbside textile recycling contract.
Has this gone to town council?
So, this, if you remember at our last meeting, they came in about the curb textile, and this is the contract he sent over to it. And I guess everybody wants to glance through it, and we need to send it to town council to take a look at it.
Yeah,
When did he send this?
It was the night of the
Thursday?
meeting, it was before we got back to, the
Yeah.
meeting was over, he'd already emailed it, so it's like a blanket.
Pretty standard. then.
Yeah.
yeah, it was pretty straightforward, so we'll just let,
It's the same one he's done in other towns, but I think we need to send it to town council, so.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see that little section where he talks about, set out procedures? So they talk about.
Page 2,
they-
number
yeah.
5.
overflow material shall be placed adjacent to the container in plastic bags. The only thing I wouldn't want is people just like dumping
That-
stuff all over the front of the yards.
Yeah, but that's the contract with us, we can tell people
Yeah.
it has to be in a bag.
No, he won't take it anyway.
And they can, no, they're saying he will.
They will.
Oh, they will take it.
Within 7 feet.
You can just say it
of
has
So I just see people putting all kinds of large toys out there and then whatever it is, and it stays there for
Well,
like a
that's the
week.
same as the bins that you see for
I know,
right
that's
across
why,
from-
I'm trying to avoid,
But no, we can make it for the town that it has to be in the bags and they can come here and get additional bags or
Yeah.
whatever.
Well, do we have the list of what's acceptable from the original flyer?
It's, yes, it's on the back page
I
there.
know there's jewelry in it.
They take a lot more than I,
Here you go. You want it? I got the contracted list here.
can read it out
Items
loud.
of an individual, yeah. Make sure I'm the right thing. Of an
Okay.
individual weight less than 50 pounds and can be carried by one person. Soft recyclable items include primarily men's, women's, and children's clothing, as well as items such as jewelry, shoes, purses, hats,
Toys.
toys, pictures, mirrors. I'm not gonna.
Coats and jackets.
Pictures and mirrors?
Blankets, drapes,
Yeah,
curtains,
it's
pillows,
crazy.
rags, sewing scraps, sleeping bags.
Silverware, dishes, pots and pans, glasses, backpacks, tools.
I don't, I thought it was just textiles.
No kidding, they don't have to worry, they're gonna be
What's the
picking up
list? 'Cause
computers and.
This is the handout they gave us last time, if you remember
Yep. We're gonna go with this list. Oh, it was on here too. Alright.
Yeah, I was filling in what you were skipping, so.
Thanks.
Yeah, but not computers and all that, is it?
No.
No. So it's clothing, men's, women's, and children's, coats, jackets and shoes, jewelry, purses, hats, toys, pictures, mirrors, blankets, pillows, sleeping bags, drapes, curtains, tools, silverware, dishes, pots, pans, glasses, and backpacks.
That's everything.
Taking everything.
Well, there was a
There's no more
woman
trash.
in the office today.
Let's do it. And we get paid to do it.
Well, her dad had passed away, so she was going through the house and she came in for trash bags and she said, I'm sorry, I put out like 15 bags this morning, but they took them. She said, I'm not sure how to get, and I'm like, oh, we're starting a program. If you're not having to have the house all cleaned out within the next couple weeks, we will be hopefully implementing this program. And that would help people out immensely like this. Instead of them throwing it all in the trash, it can go into the recycling and
Save themselves about 50 a bag too.
I would
And
push
they feel a
just
little
the
better.
textiles.
not put it in the
Yeah,
trash.
we can, whatever we push to the town is what we're gonna push.
So I would be concerned that all of a sudden then if people just say this is an alternative to trash and start, you know, you get broken toys, things like that aren't gonna be usable to them.
I know, mirrors.
You know, yeah, I.
Maybe like, yeah, blankets,
Backpacks.
drapes,
Any textile product.
Textiles, right,
Yep.
yeah,
And
not
purses, yeah,
hard
all that.
stuff.
Yep.
Well, they said soft was one of the words
Yeah.
in there.
And if you wanna throw them if they wanna throw their jewelry in there, good.
Well, what about like the pots and pans? That doesn't seem like a.
Well, for now, we're, only thing on our agenda is the contract, so I think we should send that to town council.
Right.
And
Yep.
then when we get it back, then we can finalize
Okay.
how we're gonna advertise it to town and the rest
That's
of it,
fine,
so.
yeah, that's good.
And we could always, so as individuals,
We're gonna
as
put
as
you
this,
on
as this
cable.
program evolves, we could add more stuff to it, couldn't we?
Possibly.
Well, if it says in here about computers and.
No,
Yeah.
the-
No,
No,
computers.
no computers,
No.
alright, that's,
Let's stick to the contract for tonight.
Alright, I'll make a
Alright.
motion to send this contract to town council for approval.
Second.
the motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Alright,
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I hope we get this back so we can get this rolling in
Yeah, no kidding.
November,
I got a
especially
lot
with
of
the holidays
mirrors, a
rolling
lot of
around.
mirrors to put in there.
They'll break 'em.
No later than, yeah, so let's start as soon
Alright.
as,
Yeah, especially with the holidays rolling around, get some of the
yeah.
excess out of the trash and I think it'll be good.
I'm not sure we discussed this previously, but I wanna put it out there, cause it is kinda old business, but I'm not sure, did we talk about the trash bag problems with you guys?
No, I don't think we have.
Yes,
Alright.
A
well,
little bit.
we chatted. We got a little
Um,
list order,
We did have it's very weird.
this manufacturer.
Yeah, it was a manufacturer problem, we believe, and furthermore, I think it was isolated to Johnny's Market.
Might have been
Oh,
one
I didn't hear
box.
about this.
And one box, actually. What was labeled as a large bag was coming in
Say medium bag.
as a medium bag, yes. Small bag measures 24 by 32. Large bag is 32 by 39, I think.
It's like basically the same
Yeah.
length, but it's
So,
wider.
some of them in the large were 24 inches wide, which is a small bag, but they were 39 inches long. And the funny part about it, I went through once we kinda narrowed it down, I went through the batch with the person at Johnny's Market, and there were some that were good. Large bags were really large. So,
And those cut and sealed, so it was a quality
I
control
wonder
issue.
if somewhere in the middle of a run, they realized that the measurements they set for cutting were set wrong, and they all ended up as large. But,
But we checked, like, all the boxes that we still have in the trailer, we went to several stores and measured the boxes there to see if, it seems to be just this one,
Yeah.
one
Sounds like-
box, one location.
Sounds like one lot, or it's a run or a lot of, was quality control issue.
Yeah, well, we finally figured out an easy way to do it was the small bags, the large and small box, shipping boxes are the same size, except for the depth. The depth of these small bags is 6 inches, the depth of the large bag is 8 inches.
so it's pretty obvious.
And that is the only difference in the shipping container. So, but we went to like 3 stores that one afternoon, and everybody was okay but Johnny's Market. And we haven't received complaints from anywhere else. So we think we're okay.
And we did talk on the phone to the company and kinda weren't really getting anywhere. On Friday, I was in Springfield and I went right up to the front desk with a bag that was no good. And the girl at the counter took it out back and was gone for 12 minutes and finally came back up and she's like, so what do you want us to do? I said, I don't want it to happen again.
They should,
There you go.
they should refund you or give you a,
But we didn't know how many were bad, that was the problem.
Yeah.
with that one case at least, right?
Right, well, at this point, we're figuring out that it might have only been that one case, but at the
Yeah.
time, we didn't know how bad it was.
And even for
Yeah,
the
it might have been-
consumer, if we should replenish those back.
Well, he sold most of them. And he actually out of his, I told him, I said, if anybody brings them back, bring them down to us, we'll
If it's a roll, we give them a roll.
We'll make it good
we'll
for
make up
you.
the difference, you know?
It's only right, we're only
But
gonna
we need
sell them what
we
they're
need
supposed
them
to
in
get.
hand before we can,
Yeah, we wanna
you
sell
know,
them back.
I mean, certainly we'll do that, but, oh, and what was the other thing? The long
yeah.
ties are in the small bag,
Yep,
thing.
the rolls, yep, and then the small, short ties are in the large bag, so. I don't know.
You talked to him about that?
We did, he said, well, that was the way they were, and we're like, well, it really wasn't, but he was gonna get us a price to do that, and he hasn't yet, so.
Doesn't
I-
even make any sense, you would have a,
I know, so I made that clear to the girl at the counter, so. We'll see how far it gets us.
alright,
I figured being there personally might actually get their attention, but he didn't come out to the front counter to talk to me, so that's very odd.
Thank you.
Yeah.
See, we're having
For
breakfast
knocking on the
across
door.
the street from it, so it worked out alright.
just earning our money.
So we're just trying to.
Oh, what happened, I missed it, but the violation tag,
Uh,
Peter Borges is gonna give us some, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna grab the ones that they have in Freetown,
Okay.
I'm gonna ask for 'em.
Tell 'em to watch
And I'm
the
gonna
video.
send them, I'm gonna send them what it looks like, cause it has more stuff on it where it says too heavy, or it was ripped back, whatever it is, and they can actually check it off.
You get time to look in a few containers before you go to work, right?
Yeah.
I was told to tell you to watch the video.
Oh, yeah, watch the video. Yeah, I plan on hitting a few, once we get the tags and stuff, I plan on trying to hit a few streets, just so everybody will know.
Take
We're
a
back
look.
on our initiative to clean up the recyclables.
And we also talked about putting this information online and on the TV, the public
Yeah,
access.
okay.
The stuff that
I'll watch
Kathy
the
Mercer-
video, okay?
Yeah,
That'll-
the stuff that Kathy Mercer gave us.
Basically, step one of recycling IQ, working our way towards grant monies and the rest
Yeah.
of it, so.
Okay.
So we kinda do it in-house first before we go actually take it on.
We'll see.
Did you mention how clean they want them, which is kind of absurd? The pizza boxes,
No pizza boxes.
No pizza box.
if there's a stain on it,
It's contaminated, yeah.
they don't want it?
That's why we don't even, unless it's that pizza box, it's a frozen pizza with, it's in a plastic,
Yeah,
you can take the plastic out.
so no
cut your-
pizza boxes.
And but a real pizza that you're gonna order in, it's gonna have some kind of contamination.
Yeah,
They're
Or if
gonna-
you're a real nut, you could cut out the part that's stained and throw that away. and
yeah, you
know,
could do that.
You could do that.
If you really want to get carried away.
Okay.
But we digress.
Yes, we will, we do.
Bills?
Alright, so we have some bills here. This is for, the last week of September and some October. Payroll $6,500, bills paid $41,000. Of that $41,672 is for emergency preparedness and $1,656 is stormwater. The bulk of the $41,000
Borges.
is Borges, so if anybody wants to see any of the bills.
That's the same stuff that Jen sent us, right?
The,
Yeah.
the shipping charge on those boxes, it's right in the ballpark,
Is it?
yeah. I was a little surprised.
We got awarded some stuff for stormwater, and price we were quoted, and the shipping cost was more than we thought it was gonna be, and so anyhow.
Might be, a lot of the regulations have changed since I've been there. They might have even changed the size of the shipping containers to be more money than when I was there in the post office. But as far as the shipping goes, post office was $42 and they were $48. There's only 23 pounds, Ross? The bags?
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway. No animal control officer.
Well, I can.
Just a little something on animal control. Is she on vacation 1 or 2? Anybody know?
She's on vacation, her daughter's having a baby.
Is it 1 or 2 weeks?
Two.
It's gonna be 2, I believe.
2 weeks, okay. Our animal control officer's on vacation, for 2 weeks. We will be addressing emergencies or any animals, not only dogs, but any animals that have been hitting the road. We have contracted with Swansea to take care of those. If anybody finds a loose dog, I apologize to the person that had a dog and what they were told by the police department, but I'm gonna throw my number out there. You can call me at 508-730-9893 and I'll come get the dog and we'll put him in the shelter where he belongs. So, but the best way, and what you did, if you're listening, the best way to find the owner is exactly what you did, put it on Facebook with pictures. And town has a pretty good record of everybody getting out there and finding lost or missing animals, so that's the best place. But again, I apologize if you're watching for what you were told. And again, I'll give my number, 508-730-9893.
Well, they can always call the Board of Health office and we can get.
Or the Board of Health office, yep. It's a 669
659.
Change the numbers.
669.
659.
I might call that number, it still
4159.
works. Six,
Well, yeah, I was gonna give the option, but
There's 669?
option 4.
Yes, cause
Yeah.
it's the automated
Oh.
system.
So, yeah.
But option 4 is zoning board, Board of Health, and
Okay.
that.
Oh, what's on that, 659-4159?
Mhm.
508? Okay.
Cause that other one might ring as a zoning board
You might wanna,
office.
you might wanna give
because-
that number again, cause
It is.
659-4159.
Okay, Board of Health office.
Yeah, there you go.
Please call the Board of Health office.
Yeah, that's better. Health agent.
Okay, we'll start with animals, since Stacy's not here. We did go to a local business in the North Dayton area that we saw a pile of stuff that might be habitat for rats. And wrote a letter to them basically asking them to clean it up. It wasn't an order. And Stacy and I walked in the door and they were more than willing to clean it up. But they asked that we set some rat poison first, because why move the nest and the rats go somewhere else? So right now, as of right now, that poison is set and we're waiting for it to do its thing before we go in. But by the end of October, that possible location will be cleaned up. So, but that's what we've been doing here, is constantly attacking one here and there, but
We use Radex.
Stacy
I
set
think
the
it's
traps,
Radex.
so.
'Cause I bought a big bag and I given it to
Say
him.
Stacy set the trap, the animal control officer set the traps, so I don't know, so. I am gonna be going out there and taking a look to see what's there, but I haven't been out there yet, so. Let's see, that's that. As part of the emergency preparedness, we have a whole bunch of old army cots that are stored under the stage at the middle school. In the emergency preparedness committee, I didn't bring a cot, but they're very old and rickety. We wanna dispose of them and buy new cots. But in order to dispose of the cots, we need the selectmen to vote on it. So we are asking the Board of Health to sign a letter to the Board of Selectmen stating that the Emergency Preparedness Committee voted to recommend the disposal of the old army cots. And the Board of Health has voted to dispose of the army cots and to order new ones. And
Yeah,
we have to give it to them in writing so they can.
We have to
Yeah. You probably know
quantify
better.
what they've done, right?
So. That's
So we need a motion to dispose of the old cots, I guess, and notify the Board of Selectmen.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Wanna give wanna give a mosquito update if you got one, please?
Sure. Are you done?
No, I got a whole pile, but go ahead, we can come back.
All right.
So since our last meeting, a second mosquito out of a sample pool was found to have triple E, and I think it was in Hubbardston, which is out towards Worcester, I believe. West Nile virus continues to be an issue, and this is now the worst year for West Nile virus in Massachusetts history. So until the first hard frost, which is 28 degrees for 4 hours or more, just be cognizant to wearing long sleeves and pants when you're outside, and bug repellent, and making sure that screens are properly fitted in the windows and like that. So it is getting cooler, but they're still flying, so. That's all I
Thank you.
got. Back to you, Tom.
Back to me.
What do you see? You moved on to stormwater, I thought you were done.
Oh, no, I just randomly compiled it.
Okay.
He paused.
I did, I apparently I shouldn't have paused. At one of our previous meetings, we talked about stump and wood waste disposal regulation, and we drafted something. We sent it off to town council came back and said it's okay the way it is.
Sweet.
So what that would mean is the next step would be to advertise for a public hearing to make it a regulation. So if the board wants us to do that, Roz can take care of setting that up. It won't be the next meeting, cause you need to advertise like 14 days prior,
Would be
so it would be
November.
2
Yeah.
meetings from now, but
Yeah, whatever that date works out to be.
Oh,
Do we wanna,
may I cut you off for 7.5 seconds?
why should you be different than anybody else?
Our first, I believe it's our first November meeting, or would it be our second? No, our first November meeting is actually the MHOA conference.
Oh,
Yes,
yes,
So
I did
I will
notice
not
that.
be here.
I don't think Todd will be
Just
here,
throwing
or
that out
Jim,
there.
or
No.
Tom.
no, I'm only going on Thursday, one day.
I'm not staying there, but,
I am, you can have a meeting without me, I'm just.
yeah.
Yeah, but you're not gonna try and be back here for 6 o'clock for a meeting.
Yeah, it's tough.
So, just throwing it out there for some thought, and
It is
You
the
still
November
like that.
14th meeting.
That's right, good catch.
We could do a different night.
We can skip it.
Oh, Roz is on
Skip it.
vacation, yeah.
Oh, you're on
Skip a
vacation.
meeting.
We all
No,
have,
just back.
I don't think we're gonna have anything that we know of
Yeah. Or
coming
at
up.
least by then, we can set up another, those public hearings.
if something,
Yeah, do a little.
I think if something comes up that we need to address,
We can,
we can do either emergency meeting if it's severe or post within 48 hours, so.
Yeah.
Well, we have another meeting on the 24th of this month, and so by then we might have a better idea of
yeah,
what's coming.
and just before I forgot,
That's a good one. Okay.
sorry, I used one of my times.
So, that being said, can we get a motion to have it advertised as a public hearing?
You wanna do it all by yourself?
Yeah, I was just gonna say wait, cause you've got another one you wanna do.
Oh, okay.
Well,
So
we can-
before, well,
Finish this. Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we,
it doesn't say what.
move forward with this dumps and wood waste disposal regulation and advertise it for public hearing, for November, the date to be determined.
Second.
Okay, motion made and seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, that carries.
Keeps it.
So, while we're on the stump burial, it would be like a construction type thing. Another regulation that some towns have is about having a porta potty, on site during construction before the house plumbing is working,
Mhm.
so that the workers are not using the woods. This is a sample one from the town of Easton, I believe, where they had one, again, it's very simple, but if we're gonna do, we'll call them construction or construction site regulations, we could lump in the stumps and the porta potty, and if there was some other kind of regulation we wanted to have, we could do that too, but they'd all be construction site regulations.
Want to me to work on something and have it ready for our October meeting? And if it's good, we'll just have plenty of time to get it on for the.
Well, again, whether we make it a stump regulation and a porta potty reg, or you make it a construction site regulation and they're both in the same place, you can do it that way too, that way it's one,
Like
but
to have them separate.
that's fine.
Yeah.
But they call it, it's not porta potty, I'm saying porta potty, but it's actually a
Sanitation facility.
sanitation facilities, yep.
Mhm.
So, yeah, it was just a
I
suggestion.
thought that was a requirement already, but
What's the minimum number of days, just one?
Well, if somebody's building a house,
I'm gonna say, it says a
Well, if they're
permit.
doing outdoor work in only 4 hours or 5 hours in one day, we're gonna require them to get one?
Well, like, well, that's the thing, and we can talk about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Just, and it says there's a permit for it, I don't necessarily see the need to be permitting every porta potty on every site, but, it's just one of those things.
Right.
I think it should be a requirement that they're there, and if they don't have one, it can be enforced, and, cause during the building permit process, if the building department knows we need it, and we know we need it, it's, and most places are putting them up anyway, because they don't want the neighbors yelling at them, but something to think about.
I'd throw a line in there, something that says, the facility may not be placed in a area where it would cause nuisances to abutters or something like that. That way, in case neighbors call and say, oh, that stinks, you can go out and be like, hey, time to move it.
Did you check while you're doing to see if they make handicap porta johns
They do.
with a urinal?
They do not.
Yeah.
but I've seen
Okay.
where, an establishment had to close their public bathrooms and a company came in and put a very large porta john.
Yeah,
Handicap-
The old
handicap
trailer
access-
unit.
like I mentioned before, last year, if you, I'm sure you remember, that half of the problem over here is no urinal and everybody just
I'll find it.
doesn't care, so. But if they don't make them with urinals, then we can't,
See if you get a few minutes.
we can't enforce it.
For most of these construction sites, you know, you're dealing with people who are climbing up the houses and everything else, and,
Yeah, I understand that, but I was trying to get
but,
something over here for, remember the year we had
oh, yeah.
the problems?
And does it say here, I'm just trying to go quick, it has to be an approved vendor that supplies them?
They'd have to be a licensed,
Licensed hauler.
hauler.
Yeah, but if that's not there, we should make sure that's in there, so.
Okay, you gonna work on that?
That'll be
Yes.
done tomorrow.
Very good.
Alright, next thing, 800 Center Street, the temporary tight tank conditional approval. At the last meeting, the board wanted a couple of changes to the letter. I've made those changes, I'm looking for the board to sign it. The two changes included the plan indicating the method and frequency of removal of the contents as well as the method be provided to the Board of Health. In addition, the name of the licensed pumping company performing the removal and a signed contract with said company shall also be provided. And we added in at the end, should you be aggrieved by this decision, you have the right to request a hearing before the Board of Health. And you have 7 days and et cetera, so. I've added those 2 lines in, so if I can get, signatures on that, would be most excellent.
I'll skip on that for prosperity reasons.
Is this going out by the constable?
Gotta switch your clerk number.
Really?
Yeah, but don't worry about it. We'll let that
Oh,
one
yeah,
go.
Kevin's the clerk now.
I'm the clerk.
So this is gonna get hand
Sorry.
delivered, constable,
Yes.
to both parties, okay.
Next thing, Veterans Services came to me and says he's got these events where the caterer will deliver food to them. And it's all in the trays, and then they're scooping it out and putting it on people's plates. And he asked if they needed ServSafe. And I was like, well, you know, you're not the one preparing the food, but you're serving food, so we're gonna need hats and gloves and everything else. But it seemed like them having ServSafe might be something that is required, but I wanted to run it,
Where are they doing that?
Just allergen awareness, right?
well,
What are these, what and where and?
I think they have like on Memorial Day or, they have
Yeah,
like a
Veterans Day or
breakfast.
something. Yeah.
Is it
Oh, yeah.
is it a
Yeah.
non-profit?
Oh.
Are they taking any money for this?
there's no money, but it's open to the public. Say the caterer, like Alice's Last Stop will bring them all the food and then they're scooping it and serving it, so.
There is that, I don't know,
He-
there is that potluck exemption,
There is.
when if
There
it's a
is.
non-profit, the only thing you have to do is, identify the ingredients. They should be identifying the ingredients and allergens, and something that says this has not been,
Right, but this
it's
isn't
not been
potluck.
inspected by your,
Mm.
local board of health.
This is not potluck, this is them hiring a local company and then they're serving it and putting it on people's plates for them.
Yeah, that's under the, I'll have to send you the exemption, that's what it's under, it's a potluck event where it's a non-profit organization can have these functions.
Cause Bristol Aggie asked me about having a potluck dinner. And I basically said to him, no, cause you have no control over who's making what, and so I said no. But this is, again, it's them serving food and you know if you need ServSafe to be serving the food. And so I wrote a letter, but I didn't know if he really did or not, but I want him wearing hats and gloves while they're doing it because they're, and using, not putting the spoon onto, you know, making sure people don't use the same
Yeah.
plate twice and that kinda stuff, you know, but
And they're doing it here?
it's not here.
I don't know where they
It'll be
do
at the
it.
Pavilion Veterans Day.
Something
Yeah.
like that. So,
It's like,
I was torn.
yeah, when is it?
Veterans
Pretty
Day.
soon.
Veterans
He says
Day.
it's like twice a year.
Thank you.
Or Veterans
November
Day.
11th.
He says it's like twice a year, I think they do it, so.
We have a little bit of
Probably
time.
Memorial
We can think about it,
I can
just-
send you that, just that.
Let me think about that.
Because what happens is, just say I wanna have a birthday party at this pavilion. It's the same thing as having it at home. I do not have to have the Board of Health there.
But your party's not open to the public.
This is open to the public.
Yeah, so there's that exemption where you identify all the ingredients and all the allergens, and you state that this has not been inspected by the Board of Health. But there's a criteria for it, so it can't be anything. So I'll send you what the exemption is.
Might be best if they just get someone ServSafe.
Well, that's what he's asking for. So bottom line is, I think what's happening here is if I tell him he should have ServSafe, and then he wants to take the class and get reimbursed through the money in Veteran Services, and I think that's where this is coming, is if the Board of Health says he needs it, then he can get reimbursed for it.
I would just feel better if we did, personally.
But it isn't required, so.
It's
They were having
5 hours.
$99 classes too. At your site.
I would say if he doesn't wanna take it, then see if wherever he's getting the food from, if they would be willing to
I know,
sign
this
off
way-
on something, you know,
And this way
say,
it's
hey, you know,
clean, it's clean, you don't have to worry about posting all these things.
So it's hats
And Alice is
gloves,
doing it, right?
basically,
I mean,
so.
not Alice, the
I think it is Alice's.
I think it was.